How we gon' get this bread right? Life a blindside you, so it's best to prepare right. It take one night, wrong place, in the wrong time, it can change. Growing up is never like you planned. Shout out to people that did struggle with no helping hand.
Hey guys, so since this channel has started, we've spoken about a lot of different topics. Heavily, we've recently been doing a lot of investing topics, and rightfully so, because I believe everybody should be investing their money some way, shape, or form. Lately, the market has been really volatile, and I would say that one thing I never really get to speak about here is what happens or what to do when you're losing money. Because lately, or at least to most people, the stock market has been overvalued, so there's been a lot of sell-offs recently. But we'll get into it today. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on every single social media platform: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everything. And let's get into it today. So again, first things first, don't panic. This recent sell-off hasn't been anything that we haven't seen before. If we've seen the market through COVID, we've seen a lot worse. But the main thing going on this week is that a lot of analysts, or people who observe the market at least, feel that the stock market is overvalued. They feel like stock prices are too high. They feel like everything is pretty much too overly priced for us to still have been in a pandemic or to just be coming out of a recession. Well, for the most part, let's understand a recession is the retraction of the GDP. Literally everything stops selling. Us as consumers, we stop buying. There's an overflow of product and whatever else. Now, generally the way that the market works is that there's either a cycle where it's either bearish or bullish. Bearish is what we don't like. That's when we see a lot of the reds. That's when we see ourselves losing money. And bullish is, of course, the exact opposite. We see a lot of greens. There's a big surge. So we just came out of a minuscule recession. I say minuscule, but I think the GDP contracted 30% almost. But in any event, it's only fair that right after that, there'd be a massive bull run. Stocks were cheaper than they've ever been before. Almost close to when we had the dot-com bubble burst back in 2000s. And it was just almost as if everybody was looking at the market saying, if everything is so cheap now, why am I not buying? So you'll see companies that have surged tremendously, like Amazon. You'll see Tesla has surged crazy. Because those stocks, not for nothing, they were really cheap during the recession and post-COVID. So it's only fair that after that we saw a large run of investors and young people looking to invest as well, diving or throwing their money into the market because everything was bound to rebound. So that rebound launched one of the biggest bull markets that we've ever seen, because we not only recovered from that 30% loss, we touched the Dow's all-time high. Think about that. We're the only generation that has seen the Dow reach its 30% contraction. We've seen us recover and hit an all-time high all within the span of 6 months. For 1 second, just think about that. If the market has taught me anything this past, I want to say, year or so, it's that the volatility is to be expected. I don't ever want to see a portfolio be green all the time, because literally it just means that it makes it harder for you to buy. A stock price going up usually indicates that, hey, you're making a profit, yeah, but what happens when you want to buy more shares? You're not ever going to take your profit out of that stock to then buy more. No, you're going to want the price to drop so you can get in a few more from either the ground up or wherever the correction point is, and then be able to add more shares and then see yourself grow some more. I don't know what it was, but this past week I've been looking on what is commonly referred to as the red app, Robinhood. And I saw a lot of red, indicating a lot of sell-offs this past week. And surprisingly, I didn't panic. I actually got really happy, and I bought a crap ton of stocks this past week. I bought a few REITs. I bought some Apple, because Apple and Tesla, they took like the biggest hit this week. And granted, those are commodities and stocks that like we're all familiar with and bound to rebound. But it's just like, for me to see them be so much cheaper, it instantly set off something in me to want to buy more. And I bought plenty during this, I guess you can say, correction. And I even found a new way to look at the market. This past week, the market was on sale. There was no disputing that. Everything was in the red. And to me, it all looked lovely, because I kind of agree. It's kind of hard to be a new investor and see stocks being worth $200, $300, $400, and you're just like, I don't know what to buy. So when you see stocks dropping, or the way that they did this past week, it presents, again, the perfect buying opportunity. I feel like I feel like this past week I learned that there's no bad time to enter the market. You can enter literally mid-recession. Granted, yeah, you'll lose some profit, sure, but those stocks are always going to rebound. Well, granted, you're putting your money in the right places. I'm not saying go throw your money all at Naked or GameStop, but, Anyway, my whole point this week has been that recessions aren't a bad thing. GDP retraction isn't a bad thing. The market being overvalued isn't a bad thing. It actually gives new investors the best time to buy into the market. And I feel like that's one thing that we as investors kind of get scared of. Like, we get scared when we see that we're losing money. We get scared that we see that our portfolio is not looking the way that we want it to. And that should never be the case. I feel like the moment you see a stock that you're highly going to be holding on to dipping, that should present to you the perfect, again, buying opportunity for you to want to get in more shares of that stock. I don't buy, sell, and trade every single day, but when I see a stock that I personally have that I know I'm going to be holding for a good while, Apple for a perfect example, when I see them dropping, I'm going to want to buy more. So don't panic and think that because your stock is dropping that it indicates a sell-off or it indicates a reason why you should let it go. No. Think about the future long-term holds. It doesn't make sense for you to be buying and selling a stock every time you see a drop. It's not smart. You're literally going to be missing out on what could potentially be a tremendous return. I remember during COVID, I was watching my portfolio drop like crazy, and the first thing I started to do was sell. And as I was selling, literally the next day, the stocks were bouncing back up and moving as if we weren't going through a pandemic. And the fear of missing out was crazy because all the stocks that I thought would tremendously tank, they ended up rebounding within 3 months. Now, had I sold and got rid of those stocks completely, I would have missed out on, I want to say, roughly $4,000 to $5,000, and that's just nuts. So don't panic when you see red. Don't panic when you see that your portfolio is going down. Just stick to your long-term stocks. There's nothing wrong with that. They're always going to rebound as long as you know the stocks that you're putting your money into have good research, and they'll be, I guess, trending to go back up. Apple, Microsoft, Disney, Tesla, all those stocks, they're going to rebound. They won't be down forever. It's impossible. There's nowhere that you can go where you'll see Apple not be presented. There's nowhere you can go where you see somebody won't be using Microsoft Word. Those stocks will be here for forever. And if you see them on the down low or you see them on the dip, get in when you can. They're not going to be down there forever. It presents the perfect buying opportunity. That's all I can say to you guys. My main point here is that when you see that stocks, or the entire market for that matter, are going down, I recommend 3 things. 1, look into getting into other sectors. While the market, for the most part, as commodities based, like again Apple and Tesla, were going down, there are other sectors of the market that were shooting up. JP Morgan Chase, American Express, all the banking industries are shooting up because people were selling off, resorting going back to cash or just general holding of money because they knew that there was going to be a perfect buying opportunity where they could get back into those stocks and recoup whatever profits it is that they lost. 2, keep buying. Please don't think that because the stock is going down that it's a bad investment, because literally it is far from that. I promise you, whatever stock it is that you're buying, as long as they have a really good market cap and they have a really good following behind them, they will rebound. There's no stock that will just happen to pop and then disappear, unless you're making stupid investments, to keep it blunt. From there, the only thing you can do after that, if you're really worried about the market, have a sizable amount that you put away to save. I would say think about having 3 to 6 months of whatever expenses, or your 3 to 6 months of your income at least. Have that put away on the side so you can automatically jump back into the market when you're ready. But most importantly, don't panic. It's okay to see a market drop off. It's natural, actually. Every time you have a bull cycle, you have a bearish one that comes right after. It is okay. Do not sell. Do not panic. But again, thank you for coming to Finance Fridays. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll be here every Friday as well as every single Monday for Market Watch Mondays as well. Thank you, guys.
How we gon' get this bread right? Life a blindside you, so it's best to prepare right. It take one night, wrong place, in the wrong time, it can change. Growing up is never like you planned. Shout out the people that did struggle with no helping hand.